ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਨਾ ਨਾਹਿਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਕੈ ਅੰਚਲ ਲਾਭਹੁ ਬਿਖਮ ਨਦੀ ਜਾਇ ਤਰਣੀ। ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ। तेरे जोर मैं गूंगा कहता हूँ तेरा सदका तेरी शरण।
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी। मन्ने की गत कही न जाए जे को कह पिछै पिछताए। कागद कलम न लिखन हार मन्ने का बह करन विचार। ऐसा नाम निरंजन होए जे को मन जानै मन कोए। मन्ने की गत कही न जाए।
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। धन धन सतगुरु साहिब जी पतित पावन भगत बचल किरपा दे खजाने जोत रूप श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज दी साझी नवाजी साध संगत। We gathered here today to continue learning about Sri Japji Sahib. The Siddhs have been having a discussion with Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji have been on their travels in the four directions and at various points of their time on this earth they met the Siddhs. The first time they met them when they were a child, they were young, and they continued meeting them as they grew older in physical age until they would appear to be at an old age to us. Each time they met the Siddhs, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji was actually meeting them to bless them, because the Siddhs had lived many, many years, hundreds of years, practicing yoga or yogic techniques to extend their physical age by using different breathing techniques. And the Siddhs, who were masters of yoga, had seen that Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji was very spiritual. They had a lot of knowledge. They were able to answer every question that the Siddhs put to them. They were hoping that Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji would be converted and join their way, their path, so they could use Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji to spread their message of yoga. However, at these meetings, it was Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji who was blessing the Siddhs with their darshan and implanting the true teaching, the teachings that have been Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Hai Pi Sach, Nanak Hosi Pi Sach, the teachings that are from the one Akal Purkh Waheguru, the Lord God, who has been here before the ages, at the start of the ages. They are here now and they'll be here forevermore, and during that time they will be true, because ultimate truth is infinite. So during these discussions, Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji actually blesses them and liberates them. But we've reached the point of Sri Japji Sahib where the Siddhs previously have been asking questions about the importance of listening. In an earlier body of Japji Sahib, we heard Gaviye, Suniye, Man Rakhiye, Pao, which we heard that it could be described or translated or explained to be a spiritual journey. That Pankti can be. At first, a person sings Gaviye. While he's singing or reciting, he then must listen, Suniye. He must listen, concentrate and focus. As he listens, concentrates and focuses, he starts to understand. He starts to understand through the blessings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And when he starts to understand, he can then start believing, because he believes the teachings he is being given. He starts believing and he begins to follow. Man. Gaviye, Suniye, Man. He starts believing. Rakhiye. Rakhiye means he starts acting, because he starts following the teachings and then he starts acting out the teachings, following the command of Waheguru. And Pao, what happens? He develops love for the one Lord God and becomes one with God. Up to this point, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji has developed and has shown the Siddhs the importance of listening. And after we start listening and focusing, we then start understanding. Now, many people in this day and age, in the age of Kaljug, state that reading, reciting Gurbani over and over again is of no use, because if we recite it, we're just reciting like parrot fashion and we don't understand it, so what's the point? So some people are not blessed with reciting Gurbani and they stop because they feel they don't understand, and so some start reading translations to try and learn, and some just stop completely. But we heard in the previous padiyan, Sunaya Sat Santok Gyan. By listening, we gain Sat and Santok, which is truth and contentment, but we also gain Gyan, we gain knowledge. The knowledge and understanding of what we are listening to. And Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji blesses us themselves by giving us that understanding. When we are listening, when we're focusing, even if we don't know the language of Gurmukhi to understand, we may know it to read and recite, but through the blessings we get that knowledge because we're listening. And when we listen, we start understanding, we can then start following, because we believe. We believe because we start seeing those blessings. We start seeing those blessings and we start believing, and by believing we can start to then follow. So the Siddhs have reached this point with Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. They've heard in the previous four pauriyan the importance of listening, and now they ask the next question to Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. You have expanded on listening. After listening, you have told us it is very important to start believe in what you're listening to. Start following. Could you please tell us about listening, to believe, to man, as we say in Punjabi? And then Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji continues their discussion by explaining the importance of now believing, which is the next stage after listening.
Satnam Sri Waheguru Sahib Ji, manne ki gat kahi na jaye.
Manne ki gat. Gat can be translated into riti, just in Punjabi, okay, or maryada, or the way, the path. Manne ki gat. Those who believe, their way kahi na jaye, cannot be described. We cannot describe the way of those who believe. That's the first answer Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji gave to the Siddhs. Now I'm going to share a couple of sakhiyan with you to show you that this is the case. In the time of Tan Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji, the fourth Guru of the Sikhs, when Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji had three Sahibzade, or three sons if you would say in English. The eldest was Priti Chand, the second one was by Mahadev, and the third became the fifth Guru of the Sikhs, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. Now one of the cousins of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji came from Lahore, which is now in Pakistan, to Amritsar, where Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji was residing. Because Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji was actually from Lahore themselves, and they came to visit Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji because their son was getting married. And so Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji in relationship was the uncle of the son of their cousin who was getting married. And their name was Bhai Sahari Mal, the cousin of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. And they came and they requested Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji themselves come to Lahore and attend the wedding of their nephew, and at the same time give darshan to the Sikhs of Lahore and spread the message of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji replied that they couldn't come to the wedding because there were many visitors, many Sikhs from all over that would visit them in Amritsar, and it was the time when Ramdas Sarovar, as we know it now, where Sri Harmandir Sahib sits in the middle of it, was being set up, and Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji stated that they would like to stay there because there are a lot of Sikh sangat that would come and visit them there, partake in sangat and seva. Their cousin requested that if they can't come, then please would they send one of their Sahibzade, one of their sons. Now Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji called their eldest, known as Priti Chand. Priti Chand came to the court of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji, and Priti Chand was the eldest son, and their duty was to look after the sangat that came, looked after the golak where the donations are giving, because they were the eldest son. They had more of the organising control of the Sikh sangat. In their heart, they also wanted to be the next Guru of the Sikhs. And when Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji told them to go with their uncle to Lahore, attend the wedding and spread the message of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they refused. They refused by saying, well, I'm the one who organizes everything here. Without me, nothing will be organized. I think I should stay here. So they didn't, although they were the eldest son, they didn't follow the command, the hukam, the order of their father and their guru, Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji then called on their second son, by Mahadev. And Mahadev Ji came to the court, and they as well refused. So then they called upon their third Sahibzada, who became the fifth Guru of the Sikhs, Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. And they called upon them, and they gave a command to Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji to go with their uncle to Lahore to spend 1 month there. By spending a month there, they would attend the wedding, and then they would spread the message of Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, allowing the Sikhs of Lahore to partake in sangat and focus on seva and simran, so that we could develop spiritually. Now, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji never turned a command. They believed, it's the body we're talking about, they believed in the true Guru, Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. They believed in their command, and they would try to follow that all the time. So they accepted the order, and they went with their uncle to Lahore. When they reached Lahore, they attended the wedding of their cousin. But on going to Lahore, they didn't want to leave the side of their Guru. And who would want to leave the side of the true Guru, the embodiment of the Lord, the embodiment of Waheguru? And in that time it was Tan Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji, the fourth form, the fourth Sarup of Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. They didn't want to go to Lahore. They didn't want to leave the side of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. And so, at the same time, they never refused the command. They believed in the teachings, they believed in the command, and so they went there. And they attended the wedding, and then they stayed there for a month. They stayed there for a month, spreading the message of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, but at the same time they became eager. They became eager to go back to Amritsar and be in the Sharan, the Sangat of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji, so they could do their seva. 1 month passed, and Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji had told them not to come back until they were called. And so Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji became even more eager. They became in Bairag. They longed for the darshan, the blessed vision of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. But Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji didn't call them back. So they continued in Lahore. They continued there, continuing to do seva, spreading the teachings. But they got to such a state that they sent Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji a letter. Now in those days, they would send the letter in the hands of a Sikh, of another Gursikh, who took the letter to Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. Now there's a Bani in Rag Maj that contains these letters that Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji sent to Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. So the first letter they sent goes like this, and the part is contained in Shabad Hajare, Maj Mahalla Panjava Chaub De Kar Pehla. That is the start of this Bani, which is a collection of these letters which we're going to learn about. The first letter, Mera Man Lochai Gur Darsan Tai. Mera Man, my mind, Lochai, longs for the vision of the true Guru. They are writing to Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji because they're begging them to be allowed to come back to Amritsar so they can be in their Sangat. They are a believer. They believe the teachings. Bilap kare chatrik ki nahi aayi. They're crying out. They're thirsty for the darshan. Just like a chatrik. Chatrik is like a bird who flies, and they wait for this droplet of water to fall on top of them, and they're thirsty for the darshan. Trikhana utre, santana ave, bin darshan sant pyare jiyo. Trikhana utre, their thirst is not being quenched. Santana ave, they're not finding peace. Because bin darshan, without the vision of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji, the true Sant Pyare. So here Sant means the true Sant, who is the Guru at that time, Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. How ko li jiyo ko kumai, gur darshan Sant Pyare jiyo rahao. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, the last line of that first letter, states that they are sacrificed, their soul is a sacrifice. They're desperate for the blessed vision of the true Sant, the true saint, and Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. They sent the first letter with the Sikh back to Amritsar so Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji could read it and hopefully call them back. When that letter reached Amritsar, and as I said earlier, the organizer of the court of the Darbar was Priti Chand, the eldest son of Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. When he received that letter, he read it and he got worried. He got worried because he felt that if Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji reads this letter, they will call Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji back and make them the next Guru of the Sikhs. And he had in his heart that he wanted to become the next Guru. So he hid that letter away. Many, many days passed. There was no reply for Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. And their longing continued. So they wrote a second letter. Tera mukh suhava jiyo, sahaj ton bani. Mukh means face. Suhava, we could say, is being beautiful. Your face is so beautiful. So the Guru's face is beautiful. Sahaj ton bani. The words, the teachings, the sound of the teachings gives true teachings, give true messages. Chir hua dekhe sarang pani. Now sarang pani is a name for Waheguru, is a name for God. Chir hua dekhe. It's been a long time since I've seen you, because Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji is the embodiment of the Lord God, the fourth Guru of the Sikhs. Tan Sodesh jahan tu vaseya. Blessed is that land where you dwell. That land being Amritsar, where Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji wanted to come back. Mere sajjan meet murare jiyo. My friend, now they're calling their Guru their friend, their intimate, true Guru. How ko li, how ko ulkumai, gur sajjan meet murare jiyo rahao. They're still saying they're a sacrifice in this last line of the second letter. They're forever a sacrifice to their true friend, the true Guru, Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. They sent this second letter. This second letter again, the Sikh took by Priti Chand. Priti Chand kept this second letter. He didn't pass this one on to Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji neither. Because again, he was worried. He wanted to become the next Guru of the Sikhs himself. He had a lot of pride. He had a lot of anger. And so he wouldn't pass these letters on. Now Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji still following, believing in the teaching, manne, believing, following the command, is still in Lahore doing the seva of the sangat of this congregation of Sikhs in Lahore. So they decide to send a third letter. And this time, in the third letter, when they spoke to the Sikh, they requested that this letter be given directly to Sri Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji. Because at this point they realized that the letters were not reaching Guruji. Ek kadi na milte, ta kal jug hota. Now, kadi is a measurement of time. It's actually 24 minutes, about 24 minutes. Ek kadi na milte. I can't go through a kadi. Ta kal jug hota. It feels like Kal Jug, the dark age. Because a true Sikh and the true Guru themselves, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, is one with the Lord. But they're saying, even going through a kadi, even going through that time, feels like Kal Jug. Because they don't have the darshan. They're not one. They can't see, they're not part of the sangat. Guruji, through these letters, because obviously Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji becomes the 5th Guru of the Sikhs, through these letters and now in this Bani of Shabad Hajare, Guruji is telling us how we should be feeling, how our mind should be towards the true Guru, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Ek kadi na milte ta kaljug hota. Do we feel like kaljug when we are not one with Guruji? Hun kad miliye preya tod bhagavanta. When will I meet you? Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji is asking, my beloved Lord. When will you come? When will you order me back? Mohe rehn na behave. I can't get through the night. Neend na aave. I can't sleep. Bin dekhe gur darbare jiyo. Darbar can be translated to Sarup as well as the court. Without seeing your Sarup, Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, without seeing your Sarup, I can't get through a night, I can't sleep. This is how our mindset should be. If we are not one, if we're not remembering Waheguru with our breath, with every second, our spirituality should develop in such a way that we are constantly longing for that darshan, to be one with Waheguru. We cannot get through time because we are separated from the Lord God. How ko li jiyo ko kumai te sache gur darbare jiyo. Your form, your swaroop, your court is forever true, Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, and forever a sacrifice. Now this third letter reached Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji as was instructed. And when Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji read this letter, they showed it to Baba Buddha Sahib Ji. And they thought that my son, the true Sahibjada, who became the 5th Guru of the Sikhs, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, is longing for the darshan of the Guru. And Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji said, through my command, through my order, which he, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, is believing in. Remember, that's what we're thinking about today, belief. How much belief do we have in the teachings of the Guru? He believes in what I've asked him to do. He's still there. It's like a bird in a cage with the cage door closed. Until the cage door is open, the bird is trapped. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji is trapped in the sense that they are not with their true Guru. They're not at the side of their Guru. They're not in the sharan of their Guru. They are trapped in this cage through my hukam. This is what Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji is telling Baba Buddha Sahib Ji. They order Baba Buddha Sahib Ji to go and bring Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji back to Amritsar. So Baba Buddha Sahib Ji with Sangata go to Lahore. They see Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji and they bring Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji back to Amritsar. And when they come back to Amritsar, they fall at the feet, they matha take to the embodiment of the Lord God, Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, the 4th Guru of the Sikhs. And they ask for their blessings. Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, at this point, blesses Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji with becoming the 5th Guru of the Sikhs. They give them the Gurgaddi. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji asks them, I sent you 2 previous letters, Guruji. Did you not receive them? And Priti Chand is found out that he kept these 2 letters. And all he can do is feel ashamed, because through this feeling, through this spiritual stage, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji showing this love for the Guru, and they're giving us an example of how our love should be to the Guru. He's given the Gurgaddi of the Sikhs, they become the 5th Guru, and Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji blesses them with completing this Shabad, be completing this by reciting the 4th Pauri of now, which is the beginning of Shabad Hajare. Bhag hua gur sant milaya. By good fortune, I have met the true Sant, the true Saint, the true Guru, Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji. Prabh abhinasi kar meh paya. Prabh, God, abhinasi. Abhinasi means something that cannot finish. So the only thing that cannot finish, in other words is infinite, is the true Lord, the immortal God. Prabh Abhinasi kar meh paya, kar, in their body, they found the true Lord within their house being this body, they become one with Waheguru. Sev kari pal chasana vishada, I will now serve you forever. Jan Nanak Das tumare jiyo. Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji in the form of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, because now Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji is the Guru, so they can sign off this Bani with Nanak. Jan Nanak Das tumare jiyo, I am forever your slave. Because in the first 3 pauri of this, you would have noticed that the word Nanak, the name Nanak didn't come, because at that point Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji was not the Guru, and they were just writing 3 letters. And this 4th pauri, when this part is complete, and they have now become the Guru of the Sikhs, they can sign off the Bani with Nanak. Jan Nanak Das tumare jiyo, how ko li jiyo kol kumai, Jan Nanak Das tumare jiyo rahao. I am a sacrifice, my soul, and I am forever a sacrifice. Jan Nanak, the 5th Guru, in the form of the 5th Guru, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, Das tumare jiyo rahao, I am forever your slave. And that's the mindset of what a Sikh should be who believes. Manne ki gat, that is the way of a Sikh who believes, because when Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, they believed in the command. And when you believe in something, you start following. Just like I said when we were concentrating on listening, when you start listening, you start understanding. And at the same point, if you start believing in what you're reciting or what you're listening to, then you start following. And Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji followed the command, they became the 5th Guru of the Sikhs. Another quick Sakhi. A Sikh in the times of Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, it was the Vaisakhi of around 1655, the year 1655. And Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji was at Kartarpur Sahib. And the Sangatan, the Sikhs from all over Punjab and all over India, and wherever the Sikhs were, even as far as Afghanistan, they came and they would come together at the times of Vaisakhi, just like we do and celebrate now. They came to Kartarpur Sahib, and the celebrations were in the form of Seva and Simran. Seva of the sangat that are coming, and Simran, Katha Kirtan, listening to the discourse of the Gurbani and singing the praises by reciting and singing Gurbani. And outside, if you want to call it the Gurdwara or the door, a family came and they were crying. And inside was the Divan, the Kirtan. Just if you imagine the Gurdwara Kirtan, Katha was happening of Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji's times, the Vaisakhi of 1655. And as the Sikhs entered, they could see this family crying. There's a father and a mother. They were not really Sikhs, they had not generally come to the Sangat of the Guru, but they were crying at the door. That's why they stayed outside. Some Sikhs asked them, why are you crying? And they said, our son has passed away. We've been everywhere. We've heard of the true Guru of the Sikhs, Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji. They never turn anybody away. We would like them to bring our son back to life. The 7th Guru of the Sikhs. Some of the Sikhs came inside and carried on as part of the Sangha. They understood that dying and being born is part of the hukam, part of the command, part of the order of the Lord. But they stayed there crying loudly. And through the day, and it came to the evening time, and some Sikhs came inside and asked Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji to bring the child of this family back to life. Now Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji said to those Sikhs, you know the teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji about following and being happy and living in the hukam. Whatever God does, we must accept as his parna. If he has died, that is due to their karam of the child. And the child, people live on this world due to their actions. And we cannot change the command of Waheguru. And they continued crying, and they continued crying louder, and they would send messages inside that if our son is not brought back to life, we may end up dying because we've got nothing left in this world. Now the Sikhs felt pity on this family, and they came in and asked again, please Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, bring their child back to life. Now Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, in Sikhi, we don't use the phrase, obviously they're the Guru, they're free from the Panch Chor, so they didn't get angry. But what we can describe a state as Beed Ras, a state of mind where they're not angry, but they're thinking, you know, why are they going against these teachings? I've already told the Sikhs once that we follow the teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. We cannot go against the hukam of Waheguru. And Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji said at that point, if the son is to be brought back to life, I cannot bring him back to life, but if Waheguru brings him back to life, there must be somebody else's life who is given up. So somebody must give up their own life before the son can be brought back to life. At that point, all these Sikhs who were requesting went really quiet, they got really scared. Who would give up their life? Because life is so precious. That's the one thing the world fears the most out of absolutely everything. We look inside our hearts, even ourselves, the one thing everybody fears the most is death. Nobody wants to die. So Guru Sahib Ji said this, everybody got scared. But there was a Sikh sat in the sangat called Bhai Jeevan Ji. Because what Guruji said afterwards, they said it 3 times, who's going to give up their life? Nobody would want, even the parents didn't want to give up their life for their own son. But Guruji continued and said, if there is such a person who can give up their life, they will be blessed with becoming one with the Lord. They will be blessed with absolutely everything. Bhai Jeevan Ji, who was sat in the sangat, heard these 2-3 lines. They were not one of those Sikhs who were requesting for this boy to be brought back to life, because they believed in the teachings. They followed those teachings. They knew that they had to stay happy within the hukam and continue to follow the hukam, the command. So they were not one of those requesting. However, when they heard this, that Guruji said, if anybody gives up their life, whoever gives up their life, they will become one with the Lord. They took it as a message. They came out of the Gurdwaras and they went outside. They did Ardas Benti and they left their body and they reached, if we will, Sachkhand, becoming one with the Lord God. At that very moment, the child came back to life. And Sri Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, although knower of everything, Antarjami, they know everything. They are the 7th form of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, the embodiment of God. They knew exactly what had happened, but they said straight away, somebody has left their body. That's why this boy has come back to life. I would like to find out which Gursikh has given their life. The Sangata came back and said, Bhai Jeevan Ji has done it. And Sri Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji again became in Beed Ras. They said, a true Gursikh who was a believer, he listened and then he believed and he followed the teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. He has given up his life for this family. Even though I stated that this family should accept the hukam, they should accept the order of God. But Bhai Jeevan Ji, a true Gursikh, who has given up his life because he heard that if he gave up his life, he would become one with God. He has given up his life. Again, a true believer in the teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. So coming back to this pankti, manne ki gat kahi na jaye. We cannot describe those Gursikhs, those people who are true believers, the true believers in the teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. We cannot describe their state of mind, why they do things, what their way is. Only those who are at that level could possibly describe. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, they believed and they followed the teachings. We cannot understand. By Jivan Ji, we cannot understand why. But what their ways, what their routine is, their spiritual level is beyond ours. Manne ki gat kahi na jaye. If we try to explain Jeko kahe pichhe pashatai, we will regret, because we will not be able to explain the extent of their spirituality, because we haven't reached that level ourselves. And continuing this discussion, the Siddhs asked Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, well, if you can't explain it to us, you can't explain the extent of a believer, of the extent of their spirituality. If you can't explain it in words, what about writing it down? Could you not write it down? And so it stays. There is no such paper, kagad, no such pen, kalam, na likhan har. There's no such person who can write about the extent of the importance of believing. So what are we to do then? Manne ka beh karan vichar. All you can do is beh. Beh means to sit in the Saad sangat of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Karan vichar, we do vichar, we contemplate by sitting in the Saad sangat about the extent of a believer through the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Now, just a quick one, vichar. Some people say vichar, we can translate that to have discussions. But the true meaning of vichar in Gurbani is about having a discussion within yourself, contemplating. That's what vichar means, to contemplate within yourself about where you are. So we should sit behe in the Saad Sangat and contemplate within ourselves the extent of what a believer is and what a believer should do through the teachings that we are getting from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
Aisa naam niranjan hoye.
Aisa naam niranjan hoye. Niranjan means completely pure. Anjan means like a black mark. Niranjan basically means without a black mark. What black mark? The black mark of Maya, or being controlled by Maya. So Niranjan means completely pure, completely clean from Maya. In other words, completely pure. Niranjan hoy. Those who believe the extent of Naam that they possess because they're believers. They believe je ko man jana man koi. Man koi, the second way, within your mind, je ko man jana, if we believe within our mind, aisa naam, we obtain aisa naam, the true name of the Lord God, which is, who is Niranjan, completely pure. If we believe the teachings within our mind, aisa naam niranjan hoye, je ko man jana man koi. So Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji has explained to the Siddhs, and we have learned today the extent, or the beginning of the extent of believing. This is the first body of believing, of the importance of believing. The next 3 padiyan will continue, and they will describe what happens when we start believing. How does our spirituality develop? So this first body of believing was discussing believing, and Guru Nanak Dev Sahib is saying to the Siddhs, well, the extent of believing is so far that it's not describable. We cannot write it down. All we know is if a believer believes in their mind, then they contain the true name, which is completely pure within their mind. If they think about that, they become one with Waheguru Ji. Aisa naam niranjan hoye, je ko man jana man koye. If I've made any mistakes this week, sharing with you the teachings of Sri Japji Sahib in this 12th body, I beg for forgiveness. You, the Saad Sangat, can forgive me and bless me with the knowledge, with the Brahm Gyan, so I can share the true teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and we can all learn together. I pray to Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji that he blesses us all with Gursikhi di daat, and we can all become one with Waheguru Ji. Deho sajjane seechadiyan jo howe sahib so mel,
ਐਸਾ ਨਾਮ
ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਹੋਏ ਜੇ ਕੋ ਮਨ ਜਾਣੈ ਮਨ ਕੋਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।